Lana Del Rey began her singing career in Williamsburg, New York, where she sang in bars and nightclubs, sleeping on friends' couches, while studying metaphysics at Fordham University. She says because it bridged the gap between God and science. As she professed in her song Pawn Shop Blues, she was on a journey to find out what God knows. In 2006, she entered the Jezebel songwriting competition using her then stage name Lizzie Grant, where she met famous record producer Van Wilson and others in the business.
Pretty exciting to have made it all the way to the finals. I hoped that I would, and I think we all agree that we wish it could last even longer because we've had such a good time. Everybody's been so much fun. Everybody's so good.
And I don't mind living on bread and oranges, no.
Among the girls who entered the competition was Stefani Germanotta, or you may know her better as Lady Gaga.
This next song, I wrote about the media and all the craziness that's going on today. It's called Hollywood.
Not long afterwards, Lady Gaga's career blew up, and she became everything Lizzie wanted to be, leaving her at home writing jealous songs about the new pop sensation, even mentioning the scandal of her being a hermaphrodite in a song, singing the words, "Have we all gone Gaga crazy?" She was determined to become a celebrity, admitting at the time that she was obsessed by the idea of fame, and so she did what she needed to do to get her name into the spotlight. And almost overnight, she was one of the biggest female artists in rock music for her ethereal style and sad diva persona. She says she knows exactly why she does everything she does, but according to Rolling Stones, she was the only one. They dubbed her a confounding mystery, a perplexing puzzle, a puzzle in which all of the pieces laid on the computer that Zachary Self stole on November 29th. Did she really trade sex for fame, as she states in her songs? Why is she so obsessed with fire? What is metaphysics? And who is the man named Jim who she continually sings about in her songs? In the video for her song Freak, she portrays herself in a Charles Manson-like cult setting where she drinks the poison Kool-Aid and presumably dies. This is a reference to the Jonestown mass suicide in which Jim Jones, the leader of a cult, had all of his followers drink poison Kool-Aid. In an interview with Grazia magazine, she admits that she herself was in a cult. I used to be a member of an underground sect which was reigned by a guru. He surrounded himself with young girls and he had this insane charisma I couldn't resist as well. So I was in this, well, I'll call it a sect, because I was longing for love and security. But then I found this guru wasn't a good but a bad person. At the end, I left the sect. Gurus are masters of the metaphysical realm. They are teachers, and it is this man who she's referencing in her song Ultraviolence when she sings the phrase, "Jim taught me that," and "You're my cult leader." And Jim is someone she'd known for a long time. Some of her unreleased songs she wrote during her time at Fordham University contain phrases such as, "Jimmy pulls up in his blue Chevy Nova," and "Jim, I'm gonna dedicate this whole album to you." In 2017, she released her witch-themed album, Lust for Life, finally outing herself as a witch while urging fans to take part in a mass salt ritual on each night of the waning crescent moon in order to take Donald Trump out of office. When analyzing any sample of metaphysics symbols, you will often find a large portion of these are also used when studying Wicca or witchcraft. This suggests that Lana being a witch, her metaphysics degree, and the cult all tie into one another. The word occult means hidden secret, and it's very important in witchcraft. There are many hidden references in Lana's lyrics that you might not know what they mean, but after years of studying the occult, I can usually decipher the meanings in her songs. For example, I noticed Band of Skulls' song Light of the Morning, and we know that Lucifer was referred to as the Son of the Morning in the Bible, and Francis Bacon's experiments of light were called Experimenta Lucifera. The skull featured on that album's cover represents a goat skull. The goat represents Baphomet, one of the gods Satanists worship. For you to truly understand this strange tale of who Lana Del Rey is, you should first hear the testimonies of other witches. The first testimony is given by a man named John Ramirez, a warlock from the Bronx, where Fordham University is located.
It's going to grab me when I see it.
This is Jezebel, a warlock. I was being trained with witches that were in the religion for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. They was training me to learn how to speak to principalities, spirits in the ground, the devil himself. You couldn't speak to the devil right away. You had to earn your right to speak to the devil. To the point that I was able to sit with the devil like I'm sitting with you today, and the devil would manifest himself in human form. Or the president would come into the room, and I would speak to the devil all night long. I wanted to take off the devil. The devil said, "You want 1 year off? I'll give it to you." He took my eyesight. And that's the world I lived in. If you mess with the devil, he'll kill you, he'll kill your family. It was a fear that will grip you beyond measure, that you could not leave this religion. You could not leave Santeria, you could not leave Palamanyumbe, and you could not leave spiritualism. The channel powers. At the age of 13 years old, I was astral projecting my body. I would leave my body home and go to regions and go into the spirit realm and curse dark side, curse neighborhoods, put spirit of prostitution, spirit of drugs into the neighborhood, homosexual spirits here, demonic spirit here, spirit of murder, spirit of suicide.
Hi all. Okay, I want to make this brief. There was a lot that happened in this 2-week period, but I'm going to try and make this as brief as possible. But this is how I came to God, which was I started dating a Satanist, which I didn't know he was a Satanist at the time and didn't have any idea about demons or angels, or I was completely in the world. Thought that everything that I saw around me was it. There was no spiritual realm. Psychics were just deceiving people in the mind. I was a hypnotherapist when all this happened, and I'd been a hypnotherapist for a while, and one of my main goals about starting hypnotherapy is I wanted to get into stage hypnosis. So it was my passion. It was like I want to be in America on the stage in Las Vegas and have all eyes on me kind of thing, and it was in that, fame and fortune was going to get me all the happiness that I wanted in the world. So he made me confirm I wanted him over at my house 3 times. And at the time I thought that was strange. When he turned up, he actually waited for an invite to come into my house. So he pondered and stood at the doorway until I had literally invited him into my house. Like, this is not normal. This is not normal behaviour. But the charming, you've got to understand, the charming side of him was... not addictive is the wrong word, but it was beautiful, and you wanted to be around that. Sleep, I didn't realise at this point that sleeping was actually him astral projecting. I'm going to explain that later. But then I also started to get sleep paralysis. And during the times of sleep paralysis, I would see him walk into my room. He wasn't in my room. I would see him walk into my room and climb into my bed. And I was lying there, paralysed, freaking out, going, someone is in my bed. And this is where I want to expose the astral projection, because the New Age sites, the spirit science, the wake-up world, they're all promoting getting you to do astral travel. And they all say sleep paralysis is the first part of your spirit leaving your body, and to push through it. No, they are controlled opposition sites. Do not get into astral projection. I have done it once. I thank God I was determined to. I wanted to know what it was like. Look, it was a pretty cool experience, but I thank God for keeping me protected, because the more I've found out about that realm since, is that is a demonic realm, and you can get seriously hurt in that realm. Do not do it. Sleep paralysis is not the beginning of astral travel. Trying to get you to do this. Oh, it's wonderful. Let's go and fly in the air, and let's go and do this, and this would be great for you.
flight. Probably the best part about astral projection. You'll probably just want to fly all the time.
Yeah, and unless you actually research the people that have got attacked in that realm, that is not good, and it is completely against God.
That the Ascended Masters or Lucifer's hierarchy wants them to go. It's all deception. All the political affairs are pushed that direction. The media is one of the biggest sources they have in Hollywood to persuade people these days. So things are moving along a lot faster. Originally, the plan was to be completed by the year 2000. It's not there. It didn't get. Obviously, we're not there yet. Little by little, and then they tell me that they're trying to get me to think. They're telling me I don't want to tell you this Luciferic teaching because it is so deceptive. I don't want to lead people to even consider the possibility because it is totally, totally false. But it can just sweep you right off of your feet. Some of their teachings of who Lucifer is. People will fall for it. So Lucifer, they told me, when my mentor talked about him before I met him, I thought she was in love with the guy. It was weird. She was just all dreamy-eyed and just like, it's like all syrupy.
Wow.
And so I think that maybe they presented me to him for me to meet him to see if I would be attracted to him. And maybe I would see his beautiful, beautiful side, and that would be so alluring to me. And it was very interesting. Yeah, and I don't even like to talk about too much about it because it's almost like I can almost sense him if I start thinking about him, talking about him. He was very beautiful. He came across as being very handsome, perfect, everything, perfect body. He was just what he emanated from himself was everything that every woman would ever desire from a man. Like a Superman sort of a thing. It's every need that she would have wanted from a mate. That's him. He makes, in fact, all the masters have this ability. For a woman, you feel like you're the only person out of the entire world or universe. They could have any woman they wanted. But you're like me. I was the only one they wanted. That was like they don't see anybody else but me, and never would. It's like that dedication. So it's like even though I knew he had that for everybody. Even the men sense that about him.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to turn down.
Mm-hmm. It
is. It's hard to turn down. He's beautiful, and I found myself wanting to be in his presence, wanting to find out what he's all about. His personality was just very intriguing. We're talking as if it's like we are going to be in power, and you will have a position. I was told that I was to meet. They wanted me to meet this one. So out of body, I was with my master. I have this written about on my blog. I've mentioned on another. There's a lot of confusing things they're going to be throwing out at everybody.
Wow. So they're basically right now they're creating chaos so that they can bring in their counterfeit solution.
Yes.
Astral projection is a meditation practice in which a person is able to induce an out-of-body experience, OBE for short. Carolyn Hamlin was also a witch who mentioned that she was with her mentor, out of body, when she met the devil, and some people even fell in love with him. Finally, the girl who dated a Satanist said that when he turned up, he waited in the doorway until she had literally invited him into her house. This is something that was portrayed in an episode of the TV program True Blood, in which the vampires literally needed invitations to walk into people's homes.
Thank God you're here!
Shut up! Now, someone who lives here must invite me in. Someone who lives here must invite me in.
This is a confirmation that the writers had some kind of foreknowledge of this sort of occult secret. Then Lucifer said, "I am giving you a second gift." He called a woman. She was light-skinned and extremely beautiful. She is in fact a siren called Jernice. He said, "She is the one to take care of you. She is to cook for you. Do not eat, drink, wash, or dress on earth. You will do everything here. This is your wife. She's going to care for you." After walking some time, I was introduced to Lucifer. The angel said, "This is our God." I observed him. I noticed he was beautiful. He looked at me and smiled and said, "Dear Gustav, welcome to my kingdom. I know you got a lot of questions." It was in the year 1998 in March. This second assignment was in the capital, Kinshasa. I've never been there, but only through out-of-body travel. Lucifer said, I'm sending you on a mission to Earth to destroy the activity of our enemy. Now, in Lucifer's kingdom, Bible Jesus is only referred to as the Great Master. They do not quote his name. What you'll notice is that many of these testimonies make mention of sirens, which are essentially mermaids, but they are part of Lucifer's kingdom. They are beautiful, pale-skinned women who live in the ocean and sing. We can see the relation between Gustav's testimony of a very light-skinned siren and Lana, since Lana Del Rey released an album entitled Sirens under the alias May Jailer with herself on the cover. The exposure is set very high on the album art to emphasize the paleness. She makes mentions of sirens and mermaids in many of her songs, and while she was Lizzie Grant, mermaids were a primary symbol in her songs and videos. Lana Del Rey is also friends with Marina Diamandis, a witch from the group called Marina and the Diamonds, who sings the lyrics, "All my friends are witches, and we live in Hollywood." She got her start in the same way as Lana Del Rey, making an album about sirens. Hers was entitled Mermaid vs. Sailor, and writing songs about sleeping with the devil. She blacked out her eye on the front cover before sending it to the record labels to make sure they knew what religion she belonged to.
Now look at this. There's a few different ways they display their allegiance. They don't do it often, and some don't do it at all. But most of them can't help themselves, because when they do it in public, it's a hidden statement. And that statement gives them a lot of satisfaction. The celebrities usually cover one eye, or hide it in some way, and obscure it, or emphasize it like this. Or they close one eye, or peek through it, through this hand gesture, all to highlight one single eye. It's called the all-seeing eye. Other times they'll just display a drawn eye somewhere or a tattoo of it. The other method they use is what's commonly known as the hidden hand. Here, for example, River Phoenix is doing both, the hidden hand and the all-seeing eye, so you can see the direct connection between the two. But in the political world, usually it's done with the hidden hand. So when you see this, or this, you know for certain where it comes from and who they belong to.
The video for Lana Del Rey's song Freak is a lengthy 10 minutes. The first 5 minutes is the actual music video, and the last 5 minutes contain 3 beautiful pale-skinned women swimming and breathing underwater, all over Claude Debussy's Clair de Lune. One of the sirens in the video is Lana Del Rey herself. Finally, all of these testimonies make mention of astral travel, which is practiced in many New Age cults, not unlike the one Lana was in. You can go online and try and research how to do this, but typically you need to be taught by a master or a guru. This is a testimony from Jonas Impala from Africa. Again, speaking of Indian magic, I would like to say one thing, beloved. You should know that the whole world is under the domination of Lucifer. Lucifer told us that when we were still his agents, that there are only Christians who escape from his control, and those people only represent 25% of mankind. He also told us that the remaining 75% belong to him, and that there is only 25% which belong to the King of the Christians. The devil never mentions the name of Jesus. He said only the King of the Christians, because the name of Jesus is a bomb in the world of Lucifer. And this is one of the reasons that made me separate from him. I thought that the power of Lucifer was the absolute best, and it was only when I discovered the power of Jesus' name that I started to doubt everything Lucifer told me. As we speak, Mobutu is chained up in the astral world. And afterwards, I went to the world of Tartarus where I met Lucifer. Beloved, when I saw Lucifer, I did not believe that was the devil. The devil is really beautiful, and I have never seen a human being as beautiful as Lucifer. But all that are just appearances, for there is only evil in him. I worked with him until he gave me the authorization to take part in all the meetings that he organized with the Satanists of the whole world. There we met under the water at the crossroads of two oceans, the Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean. At their meeting point, there's a triangle called the Bermuda Triangle. When you go deep down, there's a big temple, white in color, called the White House of Lucifer. I was to make a trip to Calamie to meet a siren. This siren is called Mary Rose Romea. Lucifer forbade me to call him Lucifer or the devil. He asked me to call him Dad. I used to call him Dad. You must know these testimonies in order to fully understand the lyrical content of Lana's music. Each of these testimonies make mention of the astral world, astral projection, or out-of-body experiences. They all tell that when they saw the devil, he was extremely beautiful. They all say he does his work in the ocean, which explains why he's called the angel of the bottomless pit, and many speak of sirens. In the testimony of witch Non-Kalisa Negleka, she mentions the fact that Satan lives in the sea. Also, they usually reference the fact that Lucifer would call Jesus many different things because he could not say the name. But most bone-chilling of all was that Lucifer asked all of his followers not to call him the devil, but to call him Dad or Daddy. You may recall the 1994 film The Devil's Advocate, in which the same type of thing happens.
What are you? Oh! There's so many names.
The devil became my daddy. The devil was sitting in the passenger side of my car when I parked. He said, "You love me?" I said, "Of course I love you, Daddy." Put a witchcraft spell on her and kill her. How much you charge me? I said, "Well, come back. I'm going to speak to the devil, my daddy." My daddy was awesome. My daddy was, he knew, he gave me powers beyond I could imagine. He gave me powers that people had fear me. At the tunnel, the devil showed up. He said, I was your daddy. He spoke to me in the amount of time. I was your daddy. I gave you everything you needed. I took care of you.
And if you know Lana Del Rey's music, then you know why this might be significant.
Daddy, 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 daddy.
Now, many people will say things such as, she's not that kind of witch, she's just a Wiccan, or some other type of witch. So now we present a book that Lana had stored in her house. It is The Satanic Witch by Anton LaVey. On November 29th at 2:22, Zach Self, the man responsible for burgling Del Rey's home, wrote in a Facebook post, "Bay Del Rey left me a good book to read, with Anton LaVey's The Satanic Witch pictured above." So you might be wondering by now, why is this film titled Blue Ivy? Blue Ivy is a term that has an occult meaning since the letters backwards spell out Yulbivai, which is a phrase that means the devil's daughter in Latin. Unfortunately, if you try to use Google Translate for any kind of Latin, it will not work. There are 3 different types of Latin, and the language is uncharacteristically rich when it comes to describing demonic terms. Some would even believe that Jay-Z named his daughter Blue Ivy for this reason, because he references famed Satanist Aleister Crowley, has a Masonic clothing line, and endorsed the song when the producer backmasked Jay-Z, who raps 666, murder, murder Jesus.
666. Murder, murder, Jesus. 666. Catholics, so I gotta murder them.
Now, let's read the lyrics for Lana Del Rey's famous song entitled Yayo.
I like the snake on your diet. Do I like the ivy and the ink blot?
I like the snake on your tattoo. I like the ivy and the ink blue. There's a lot to unpack in just this short excerpt. As a witch, these kinds of reversals are very significant. As we pointed out, the letters in Yelbyavai are reversed. Ink blue is also reversed here from the proper blue ink, and blue ivy is reversed into ivy blue. There is a relationship between the ivy blue, the devil's daughter, and the chorus in which she repeats the phrase, "Let me put on a show for you, Daddy." Finally, the snake is referencing the Garden of Eden. Here are some more examples where Lana Del Rey's music echoes the testimonies shared by the previous witches and warlocks. In God Knows I Tried, she says, "Sometimes I wake up in the morning to red, blue, and yellow skies." According to Wikipedia, the Venus Belt is an atmospheric phenomenon, that pretty red, blue, and yellow formation seen shortly before sunrise. Witches are familiar with this. It can be seen in the morning, represented in the same way Lana has described. And interestingly enough, the literary term for Lucifer is defined as the planet Venus when it rises in the morning. Flames so hot that they turn blue, your halo's full of fire. I'm rising up, rising up. My hot love is for the fire, love is for the fire. You've got your gun, I've got my dad. Witch hazel, betrayal, betrayal. As you will see, Lana continually portrays the betrayal that witches often feel when they serve the devil. It starts off as a beautiful, exhilarating experience that soon turns to one of dread and fear once they finally realize they won't be going to heaven. All my friends tell me I should move on. I'm lying in the ocean, singing your song. Your soul is haunting me and telling me that everything is fine, but I wish I was dead, dead like you. Every time I close my eyes, it's like a dark paradise. No one compares to you. I'm scared that you won't be waiting on the other side. In these verses, Lana is explaining how she's afraid to die because she knows that Lucifer probably won't be waiting for her on the other side with open arms. In Heavy Hitter, she says, "You're the king, my fear, baby. I'm the queen of alchemy. I know a way to make gold by mixing our souls to escape reality. Queen Lana Ray, run to that ocean. I got that magic Cal trance potion." The correct spelling of magical is actually with a K, and all witches know this. If you listen to the song's recording, Lana is sure to emphasize the K. Alchemy is the practice of manipulating the elements and would constitute sorcery from the Bible. The historical study of elements and matter with respect to alchemy was actually done with the goal of creating an immortality serum. Again, we see the magical properties of the ocean, and she references witchcraft, but also the relationship between her and her god, who she fears. Ecclesiastes 12:13 says, "Fear God, for that is the whole duty of man." Motorcycle, love divine. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. See you working on that blue Pacific. Blue hydrangeas, cold cash divine. When she sings he's working on that blue Pacific, it's because based on the testimonies who said Satan lives in the sea, that is where he does his work. The lyric in which she says cash divine is also significant. This is referring to the Egyptian pyramids on the American $1 bill, something that is often questioned.
Summer skies blue and green, death reflecting in his eyes. We try. Death reflecting in the sky. Held my hand to the ocean, he led me
The ocean is a place with magical properties because that is where the king, who she loves and worships, lives. But here it is also made clear that she wants to die for him. She says that her man is going to kill her in many of her songs and videos, but like she emanated in Dark Paradise, she is scared he won't be waiting for her on the other side. She knows that he lies. The Dark King who works in the ocean is somebody none of us have ever seen. Here are a list of verses in which Lana talks about her man, often represented as an evil figure, being someone no one has ever seen, someone who comes from another world.
I regress back to the one that I can't see. He's someone I have never talked about. 'Cause I know that we'd both be dead if you found out. There's something I have never told you. I'm not really from this world. There's something I have been withholding. So if you begin to think that my life might be supernatural, I'd have to say you're right, mon cher, it is. I come from a place that your mind cannot even imagine, where we sing
There are violets in your eyes, there are guns that blaze around you. There are roses in between my thighs, a fire that surrounds you. It's no wonder that every man in town has neither fought nor found you. Everything you do is elusive too, even your honeydew. You haven't seen my man, you haven't seen my man, you haven't seen my man, you haven't seen him. He's got the fire. Watch what you say to me, careful who you're talking to. Watch what you say to me, careful who you're talking to. I'm on fire, I'm on fire. I've got the ice, you've got the fire. Everything looks better from above, my king, like aquamarine, ocean's blue. Dying by the hand of a foreign man happily, calling out my name in the summer rain, ciao amore. Salvatore can wait, now it's time to eat soft ice cream. The word Salvatore means salvation in Italian, and in the Bible it is defined as the saving of people from eternal damnation. Lana is saying here, salvation can wait, now it is time to indulge. Fly body, you're gonna be the death of me, yes you are. Fly like a bird. The astral body is our spiritual body which can leave the physical realm when an OBE occurs. As previously discussed, this body can fly and is commonly reported to be attached to a silver cord which connects to the physical body. If the silver cord is broken, it means a person is dead. In Ecclesiastes it writes, "Remember him before the silver cord is severed." In Backfire, she says, "We're like Sid and Nancy loving the fight." This verse returns to the idea that Lana Del Rey's significant other will be the one to kill her. So now we have learned Lana Del Rey is a satanic witch and has recently risen to the 27th spot of most streamed artists on Spotify. Lana Del Rey translates to the Light King if you take the Greek Lana, meaning light, and Spanish Del Rey, meaning king. The word Lucifer actually means light, though his angelic name is not representative of how he's apparently portrayed today. In the intro for Salvatore, it begins with the devil laughing. In the intro for Lana's song Raise Me Up, Mississippi South, she repeats the words Ray Ray over and over,
Ray, Ray.
and reveals that Ray Ray is a man who raises her up. It is a song mentioning voodoo, spirits, and crystals. Anton LaVey, the Black Pope, who wrote Lana's book, The Satanic Witch, used to threaten Christians and say, just wait until Halloween when Ray Ray gets here.
Hello there, my name's Dave Bryan. During that process, he was able to astral project, which means that he would leave his physical body, he would come in the spirit plane and do what we call a body jacking. It's a lot like a carjacking, only it uses a human body. And it was during those times that Anton would say, you wait until Halloween gets here and Ray Ray will be there either as the bride of Satan or as the blood sacrifice for our Halloween ceremonies. Ray Ray will be there either as the bride of Satan.
Ray, Ray.
Lana Del Rey's original name was Lana Del Rey. Finally, according to Ben Weintraub's 1994 book on Judaism, the Hebrew letter Vav means 6, and the ultimate secret of Vav is that it is a single light of light whose function is to illuminate, a ray. The Bible undoubtedly has its verses. These are Lucifer's verses. He is the one-time comeback king. He knows that I be looking to die. He says, baby, pay respect to the high. Baby, you're my Bugsy Malone, and I'm your suicide blonde. Set my soul on fire and make me wild like the deep blue sea. Let's celebrate our twisted fate. You're the king, and baby, I'm the queen of disaster.
Star-spangled danger, you my heaven, I said, Daddy, I need you. Greenwich, I need you. Strangled up in ivy. I'm the Garden of Eden. Lady Liberty. Tail with flame, I'm shining. You're my one king, Daddy. Good executive, I made you live. You my king, Jewish maven, kids on vacation.
Again, we see her referencing her daddy as a king, but the King Jewish Maven is a rare symbol in her music. This could be referencing the satanic Jews of Revelation. She also named herself Lady Liberty. When Frederic Auguste Bartholdi was building the Statue of Liberty, he was seeking a commission to construct a giant statue of the Great Mother Isis, a goddess of magic. Isis and Lady Liberty were once recurring themes in the lyrical content of Lana Del Rey's music. In Cola, she sings, I know your wife and she wouldn't mind. We made it out to the other side. We made it out to the other side. We made it out to the other side. I pledge allegiance to my dad for teaching me everything he knows. Drugs, suck it up like Vanilla Isis. This is dangerous. I need your kiss to survive. This is hard to resist. I spy Isis. Osiris was an Egyptian god who was named the god of the underworld, or god of hell, similar to Lucifer, and his wife was the Egyptian moon goddess Isis. In this way, Lana is personifying herself as both the Blue Ivy daughter and the wife of the underworld. This is not unlike Christians who would say they are the bride of Christ, but Jesus Christ is also the Father. Other artists such as Lady Gaga and Katy Perry as well feature Isis in their music videos, usually with one Egyptian eye. Rihanna has a large tattoo of Isis for the same reasons, later admitting in an interview that she is in fact a devil worshipper.
I'm a devil worshiper.
The hand covering the eye symbol is actually something that is portrayed in photographs over and over by our so-called idols, including Reese Witherspoon, Aaron Paul, Rita Ora, Adele, Robert Pattinson, Peter Gabriel, Ashley Simpson, Michael C. Hall, Selena Gomez, Giovanni Ribisi, Luke Fiasco, Jeffree Star, River Phoenix, Alexander Skarsgård, Amy Adams, Billy Idol, The Game, Busta Rhymes, Ozzy Osbourne, Jay-Z, Beyonce, George Clooney, Miguel, Incubus, Mila Jovovich, Milo Yiannopoulos, Mika, Jared Leto, Kate Blanchett, R.E.M., Jason Schwartzman, Kate Moss, Benedict Cumberbatch, Willow Smith, Michael Jackson, Paris Jackson, all of the Kardashians, Robin Williams, his daughter, Zelda Williams, Kevin Costner, Miriam Leone, Adam Lambert, Ginger Spice, Adrian Grenier, Bill Hader, Blur, Al Pacino, Jodie Foster, Brandon Urie from Panic at the Disco, Robert De Niro, Zoe Kravitz, Minka Kelly, Monica Bellucci, Ariana Grande, Chet Hanks, Lea Seydoux, LeBron James, Jackie Chan, Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Haley Clausen, Noel and Liam Gallagher from Oasis, Lara Pentalute, Mark Ruffalo, Liv Tyler, Leona Lewis, Natalie Dyer, Jonah Hill, Aldous Hodge, Mila Kunis, Sophie Monk, Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth, Jimi Hendrix, Andrew Garfield, Ben Stiller, Tyra Banks, Jimmy Kimmel, Conan O'Brien, Stephen Colbert, Lionel Richie, Nicole Richie, Bob Marley, Orlando Bloom, Natalie Imbruglia, Neil Young, Ryan Tedder from One Republic, Bon Jovi, Leonardo DiCaprio, PJ Harvey, Zac Efron, Hayley Williams, Julia Roberts, Hillary Clinton, Bond from U2, Jeff Goldblum, Angelina Jolie, Emily Browning, 21 Pilots, Birdman, Matthew Maine, Jessie J, Cindy Crawford, David Blaine, Megan Fox, John Travolta, Jude Law, Paul Stanley from Kiss, Uma Thurman, Naomi Watts, Phil Collins, Lily Collins, Cody Smith, Miley Cyrus, Fetty Wap, Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine, Kristen Stewart, Sam Worthington, Blake Lively, Stephen King, Sting, Tila Tequila, Vince Vaughn, Usain Bolt, Tilda Swinton, Olivia Newton-John, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Dillon, Emma Watson, Ollie Alexander, David Bowie, Lindsay Lohan, Coldplay, One Direction, Colin Farrell, Keanu Reeves, Colin Firth, Kylie Minogue, Keith Urban, Robbie Williams, Savage Garden, Amy Winehouse, Ed Sheeran, Third Eye Blind, The Killers, Vincent Castle, Lisa Marie Presley, Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, Marlon Brando, Pharrell Williams, Daniel Kaluuya, Hayden Panettiere, Sia, Michael Fassbender, Ethan Hawke, Shia LaBeouf, Michelle Williams, Eva Longoria, Dita Von Teese, The Veronicas, Eva Green, Psy, Gangnam Style, LL Cool J, Mac Miller, Gwen Stefani, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ferran Adria, Gordon Ramsay, Tom Wolfe, Anuncio Moro, Adam Perry Lang, Alex Atala, Az McCann, Isaac Carew, Jamie Oliver, Harrison Ford, Chris Pine, Travie McCoy, Sam Smith, Russell Crowe, Nick Cave, Prince, Margot Robbie, Johnny Depp, Helen Bonham Carter, Keira Knightley, Jordan Sparks, Christopher Walken, Kid Red, Courtney Cox, her daughter, Coco Cox, Avril Lavigne, Lil Wayne, Eminem, and of course, Lana Del Rey herself.
Why is your hand over your eye? Why is your hand over your eye?
Woe to the idle shepherd, his arm shall be withered, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. Australian X Factor winner Altian Child shares his invaluable testimony of Freemasonry. He talked about seeing Satanism in the church, and he is the credit for this list and all of the photos accompanying it. In that testimony, he states bluntly, the whole system is built on lies, and the ultimate liar lives inside the triangle. I'm not simple, it's trigonometry. It's hard to express, I can't explain. Because I'm going deeper and deeper, hotter and hotter, it's getting darker and darker, looking for love in all the wrong places. You should have known better than to have let her get you under the spell of the weather. I got you where I want you. She met him in a place that is deep, dark, and hot. She's singing about the pit of hell. 1592 English play The Tragical History of the Life and Death of Dr. Faustus was a famous play that expounded on the idea of the devil's debt, and owing a debt to the devil became a common saying throughout time and is still in use today. Paradise is a hell-colored flame sky. You say that you want to go to the land that's far away. How are we supposed to get there with the way that we're living today? You talk lots about God, freedom comes from the call, but that's not what this bitch wants, not what she wants at all. You want money, power, and glory. You want money, power, and all your glory. All your glory. Hallelujah. I want to take you for all that you've got. The land that is far away in this song is heaven. According to Del Rey, people can't get there because of the way that we're living today. But that's not what she wants anyways. Loving you isn't right. It's original sin. I don't want to go home. People will often mistake the original sin for sex. It's actually occult knowledge. The tree of knowledge is portrayed in the book of Genesis when Adam and Eve were tempted by the snake to become as gods. God forbids astral travel, communication between angels and humans, as well as all pharmakia, witchcraft. But people are curious beings and will always be tempted. In the name of higher consciousness, I let the best man I knew go. It's nice to love and be loved, but I'd rather know what God knows. Hollywood legends will never grow old, and all of what's hidden will never grow cold. But I know the light's on in the television, trying to transmit. Can you hear me? Ground control to Major Tom, ground control to Major Tom. The title for the song, Terrence Loves You, is in fact a mockery of the phrase, Jesus loves you. In these verses, Lana paints a pretty substantial picture of the 1982 hit movie Poltergeist, when the girl is sitting in front of the TV trying to communicate with a spirit. She then goes on to recite the lyrics for David Bowie's Space Oddity. Me and my baby planning world domination, together taking over our fair nation, born to kill, keeping it fresh. Her and her man, the devil, want to take over the world, but according to Jonas and Paula, the world is already under the domination of Lucifer. Lana references herself as a soldier, not unlike Christians in the Bible. She has ultimately made it her job to use music and magic to win over the spirit of America. Used to be a beauty queen with simple acquisitions, met my local rock star, and now I'm having visions. I need it, have to have it, take over domination. He's a god, one the stars call creator. Hail the king of the industry, players. You and me on a spree, taking over. El Do Re, hey, wanna be your soldier. Hit me and run, baby, hit me and run. Hit me and run the world. Lana Del Rey has a twisted way of making cute pop songs out of horribly disturbing concepts. For example, this song, which she should probably be called out on more often. It's about a guy who kidnaps little girls and makes pedophilia films. By the lyrics alone, you might think she's singing about a man who's attracted to petite women, but there's a music video which features images of small children and a man being taken away by the FBI for his sex crimes. You might remember a scene from the 2004 film The Butterfly Effect in which a similar situation occurs. An older male sees a girl and asks her if she wants to be in a movie, which they make in his basement. Child pedophilia films are not a laughing matter, but the music video features various clips of Lana Del Rey laughing and smiling into the camera. In many of her songs, she mentions a record executive, or the king of the industry, who when asked about an interview she claims to have dated. This next song is about that man. She says that he picks up young Christian girls who can sing and turns them away from God, and they have a secret that they cannot betray. Katy Perry is one who actually began as a Christian artist, and her debut self-titled Christian rock album from 2001 now sells for hundreds of dollars. Katy stated in more than one interview that she regrets selling her soul to the devil. The song also mentions that the man in question is not just a record executive, but a teacher.
Only reason that I live is Christ came down and died for you and me.
In 2011, Lana Del Rey did an interview in Hollywood at the Chateau Marmont. The interview was filmed by MySpace and begins with her in a floral dress singing the words to her debut hit single, Video Games.
I say you the bestest, leaning for a big kiss. Put your favorite perfume on, go play your video game.
I feel like, honestly, since I was really young, I've sort of walked my own path, even in terms of my tastes, like sonically and visually. To be honest, like, when you work at something for a long time and then come into a family of people who support what you do, you're very lucky. I've been really blessed, actually, more than most, to have really good people around me.
I don't know what you do, and I don't know how you get over someone as dangerous, tainted, and flawed as you.
I don't know. It's the little part. Thank you. Thanks.
That was awesome.
This makes me happy. I just like it. Thanks. I'm usually always thinking about the same goddamn person, so I love him forever. but you know, it's all good. It's all good. Someone who makes me feel like electric. Find someone who has a life that you want and figure out how they got it. Read books, pick your role models wisely, find out what they did and do it.
And you're my cult leader. I love you forever.
The same goddamn person, so I'll love him forever.
I love you forever.
Lana says that she's always singing about the same goddamned person. I know what the record executive is teaching is wrong. I pledge allegiance to my dad for teaching me everything he knows. Jim taught me that. You're my cult leader.
The same goddamn person, so...
And that's the truth. Jim, the cult leader, the record executive, she's always singing about the same person. Her daddy, the devil. She doesn't care what people think of her romantic life because she knows that they don't have a clue. She prides herself on being able to fool the vulgar herd, when the fact is that her man is somebody that none of us have ever seen. You had no idea what she was thinking because you never knew before that she's a real witch.
Walking down the street, you wouldn't know what I was thinking. It's just another white girl day. Hey, ribbons in my hair and I am sinking down. The double light is a sordid past and I am drinking now. I want to be bad. You say you were glad to see me. Shut up. I don't want to know another thing you think you know about me. I'm not who you think I am. Smiling but I ain't happy. A man who makes a beast out of himself, got nothing to lose. So my soul on the road, nothing I can choose. I'm tired, singing the blues. I'm tired. Oh, my soul, God, I can't turn.
With almost 600 million views at the time of this record, the music video for Born to Die is the telling of a sad, sad story of blood sacrifice. The video begins by showing the songstress clutching her daddy in front of the American flag. There's a stark contrast between Lana's unblemished pale skin and his body covered in tattoos. The words echo in the background. Why? Who, me? Why? When the song actually starts, she's in a temple sitting on a chair wearing a white dress and a flower crown between large white pillars. This is a reference to the High Priestess Tarot card, which features a woman sitting on a chair in a white dress and pillars on either side of her. Just as well, the role of the High Priestess often includes blood sacrifice.
I was lying there, paralysed, freaking out going, someone is in my bed.
Throughout the video, she looks both very afraid and despondent. She lies in bed with a man who disappears and reappears, fading in and out like a ghost. He gets a little closer each time, soon clutching her neck threateningly. She winces in discomfort, and she's scared because she knows that she's going to die. The video is very clear about that. She also knows that her boyfriend is going to be the one to kill her. She stands in the hall with him in the background. He's fading in and out, swiping his thumb across his neck to signify death. The video flips back and forth between two Lanas. One is the High Priestess wearing the flower crown on her temple's throne, and the other is the young girl waiting to be sacrificed. In real life, witches, who sometimes call themselves witches but actually know very little about the astral realm and the spiritual world, will wear flower crowns to attempt to attract positive energy. What most do not know is that the purpose of the flower crown, especially the one made of roses shown in the video, is to make a mock version of Jesus Christ's crown of thorns. At the end of the video, the man holds her limp body covered in blood, a car burns behind them, and soon after, they're back together in front of the American flag. Based on the fact that the majority of this video takes place in a temple and is indeed very spiritual, we can safely assume that this sacrifice was for a god. Similar to her video for Freak, in which she showed people doing nothing but swimming for 5 entire minutes, this video is just 5 minutes of her walking. She is adorned in a bridal gown as she walks along a gravel path surrounded by tall grass. This time, it's clearly a build-up for a grand finale. Finally, at the end, we see that she's arrived at a church where she is getting ready to be married, and though she claims to be a Catholic, that is not the Catholic Church. That is in fact a Masonic lodge where in some lodges the only word you're not allowed to utter is the name of Jesus. Masonic temples can be known by their checkerboard floors and pillars. Freemasons are at the heart of the quote-unquote Illuminati conspiracy, and they are practitioners of magic, just like Lana. There are 33 degrees of Freemasonry, and the higher your degree, the more magic and secrets you will have learned. This is partially why their symbol is a pyramid. It's a ladder, and the lower ranks refer to their god simply as God, or even the great architect of the universe. But the 33rd degree Freemasons know the name of their god. Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name to give to the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning. Is it he who bears the light and with its splendors intolerable blinds feeble, sensual, or selfish souls? Doubt it not. Lucifer is the god of the highly ranked witch. Recall now that Lana Del Rey's name translates to Light King. She said it herself. She knows exactly why she does everything she does.